Hello and welcome back to my channel. Yes, we're doing this. We are doing this. This video is a highly requested video. It's also a video that I've already tried to film twice and I failed miserably. I'll probably save this for a proper life update video that I'm hoping to come next. I'm gonna do like a vlog life update video. But for the past couple of months, I've just been a bit overwhelmed, a bit stressed, took on too much. And that meant just making YouTube just was tough. I just couldn't do it for one reason or the other. So I took a little kind of hiatus and I'm very aware of that, but I'm back and I feel like I'm getting my mojo back and I'm ready to bring you the videos and the content and talk about stuff and share stuff that I'm really excited about. Now this video, like I said, it's highly requested. This is kind of personal training 101 with Tally, and I'm talking about where I qualified as a personal trainer, what courses I recommend, how I decided on what route to go with my business, what options there are, and how to set up a successful personal training business. So let's just crack on with it. So it was back in May. I just checked my Instagram. It was back in May that I asked for your questions all about personal training, and I'm embarrassed to say it was May. It's now mid-July. So yeah, it took me, like I said, took me a little while to get through that all, but I'm here. I'm filming. I asked you guys what you wanted to know about personal training, about how to become a personal trainer, about all that stuff. So I just thought I would start at the very beginning. So many of you guys wanted to know what course I did, how I started. So I thought I would tell you my journey to personal training first, and I'll try and keep it like short and quick, but I know myself, so I'm probably gonna have to edit this down a fair amount. I went to drama school originally. I trained in musical theatre, but at musical theatre I discovered a passion for fitness. When I left drama school, I decided I wanted to become a personal trainer. I was looking into personal training courses, and it just so happened that the one closest to me that just started on a date that was kind of near when I was looking was with Training Rooms. I did a 6-week intensive course. It meant I got to go to like PT school every day. I think there were like 20 of us in the class, 30 of us in the class, and it was great. It was just what I personally needed. As part of my 6-week course, I also got a spin qualification, a group exercise qualification, and I also got a gym-based boxing qualification. And so that course included my level 2 qualification and my level 3. Level 2 means you can be a gym instructor, work on a gym floor, you would like give people intro sessions at the gym, but it means you're not fully qualified to personal train, and that's your level 3. And so you kind of do it in like 2-3 week segments. Oh, I should also add I did a nutrition course as part of that, but we'll get into that later. So I qualified on my birthday on the 30th of October 2014. So coming up 4 years this year, which is very exciting. And as part of that course, they had a couple of days allocated to helping us find jobs after we completed the course, which is an aspect of the course that I really, really appreciated. So we had people come in from a whole variety of gyms. We even had someone coming in who looks for personal trainers for cruise ships come in. We had things like Pure Gym, David Lloyd, Easy Gym, all these big companies come in as representatives and try and sell us the life of a PT in their gym. At that point, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I went and had an interview for a studio, for Fitness First, and for GYMBOX. I knew I wanted to go to London, so I should add I trained in Reading. So I trained in Reading in Berkshire, but I knew I wanted to go to London. I started looking for jobs in London. As a female PT, to be honest, they're looking for female PTs. There aren't enough in the industry. And so for once, I came from drama school world where there are too many girls to come into an industry where they needed women. It was great. I got offered a job at every interview I went to, which was really cool. And so I got the choice, and I chose to go to Fitness First. It's a big corporate gym, but I chose it because I thought it would push me outside my comfort zone the most. I was most scared to go there. I thought the gym itself was very impressive in terms of the equipment it had to offer, and also the staff were knowledgeable, and I thought they would help me learn how to do this, because you do your course, but you don't really know how to personal train. Like, you learn most of it on the job. let me tell you. So I started at Fitness First and I was there for 18 months. I did the personal training sliding scale. So I did a 25-week sliding scale, which meant for the first 4 weeks, I paid no rent. I did 25 hours a week unpaid, but it meant that I didn't pay anything. It was like in exchange of being there, and it was my job to try and establish myself within the gym, get clients. I taught classes. So one of the first things I did within the first week, someone had an injury who was teaching a spin class, and they were asking around like desperately who can get cover for this class, and they were like, Tally, you've got a spin qualification, don't you? Because obviously I told them in my interview, and I was like, yes I do. Before I'd done my spin qualification, I'd never done a full spin class. Just a little side note there. Never done a full spin class. And I said, yes, I'm going to do this. I made a playlist within an hour. I went and taught the class, totally blagged it. That was my drama school training kicking in all over. Muddled my way through, and here I am now teaching spin at a really top London boutique fitness studio. But once again, we'll get back to that. But the point of me telling that story is, when I started out, I just said yes to every single opportunity. So I was teaching classes on the gym floor, I was doing anything they asked, I was teaching as many classes, getting to know as many other trainers, as many clients, as many people as possible. I have to say, I survived on zero money / minus money. At the time we called it PT poverty, because you've got no money coming in and you're trying to survive in London, and it's hard. It was really, really hard. It was a tough time in my life. Cue the violins. But it was a tough time. That Christmas, I couldn't afford any Christmas presents for anyone. Jack bought me a box of Christmas cards to give to people because I couldn't even afford that, and my mum was covering my train fares to London. So yeah, it was a crap time. But I started at November, December time. Come January, February, naturally that's when things pick up within a gym. And I learned the art, and during that time when it was quiet, I learned the art of like the gym hustle. So when you work in those big gyms, you have to learn to talk to people, and we'll get onto that later on, because I want to give you a few tips on how to pick up clients, on how to establish yourself within a gym, and expand on that more. So after 18 months of being at Fitness First, I managed to gain a really healthy client base. And I was also still teaching classes as well. And I left there because I decided I felt like I had outgrown that experience, that gym, that environment. It got too busy. I couldn't train my clients on a busy gym floor. I couldn't get the equipment I wanted. And I just found that I started doing my clients a disservice purely by just trying to work there. Like, it became very difficult. So I left the gym and I went to a studio gym where I still am today. I originally started working there kind of 4 days a week, and I paid full-time rent. And then I think coming up a year ago, I dropped down to doing part-time hours. So I technically pay 3 days rent a week. So I can only go into the studio 3 times a week, but that really suits me and my career right now. And it also meant that my outgoings decreased, which when you're a personal trainer and you're working in London, gym rent is no joke. So whilst I did my first 18 months at Fitness First, I started teaching at a gym in Richmond. It no longer exists, but it was called HIT Gym. I worked there on Saturdays and I taught classes there, and that really helped me gain a lot of experience. I also gained clients whilst I was there, and they let me PT in that gym for free. So I would teach my classes in the morning and then do like 2 or 3 clients afterwards, and I managed to like keep all the money for myself. It was pure profit. That was a bit of a coup, that job. But they shut down and I left, and it was getting really difficult living in central London and having to go to Richmond really early on a Saturday morning. It got very tiresome, but I did love it there, and the people in that gym were some of my favourite people I've ever worked with. So yes, I should add I did that too. So I did have 2 gym jobs at a time. So I was working 6 days a week for about 18 months. So that has been my career journey, and I hope that that's already been a little bit helpful. But now I'm going to try and answer as many of your questions as possible. Okay, we have LG56. I would love to know if there are any part-time courses that I could do while still doing my current job. So yes, I did a 6-week intensive course, but you can do part-time courses. They often run on weekends, and I believe you could either do them like every weekend in a row, and you do all the studying and kind of learning during the week, and then you can go in on the weekends. You even have courses, I believe, where you kind of do a lot of e-learning at home and then you go in once a month and check with the tutors and all that kind of stuff. I will link you to the training rooms, by the way, because that's the experience I've had, so I would definitely recommend the course. I think they were great. So I'm going to link them below and you can check out their website for all the course breakdowns on there and all the options that they have. Okay, Running Shoulders says, I'm hoping to PT part-time when I'm qualified as I'm still at uni. So many people have said it isn't feasible and I wanted your opinion. Okay, so truthfully, it depends on you as a person, your time management skills and your hustle skills. You've got to really assess, would personal training part-time to your university degree negatively impact the outcome of a university degree? And you have to decide which is most important, let's be honest. But second of all, I do think you can make it happen. You don't have to be training 20 people a week. You might just want to have like 2 or 3 clients that you see maybe once, twice a week. And you can do that. And like I said, I've worked in a personal training gym, but you can train people in parks. You can find smaller studios. You can work in big gyms. There are so many different options out there. So if you can make it work for you, why not? So Reed Dawson says, how do you build your gym clientele? I'm not based in a gym, so any tips on this would be appreciated. So obviously my experience is being based in the gym, so that's majority of what I have to go off. When I started in this industry, one trainer said to me that everyone is a potential client. Everyone you meet is a potential client. One of my current clients now, I actually met on holiday and we were skiing together and we happened to stay in the same chalet, and it just turned out she worked nearby, and then a few months later after we got back, she got in touch and asked if I would personal train her, and I personal trained her for almost 18 months now. So everyone is a potential client. I think you just have to be bold with, say, people ask you, what do you do? I'm a personal trainer, I do X, Y, Z, I believe in this is my approach. Just be bold. I remember the guy who said this to me at the time, I remember he used to like, all the Starbucks baristas were like his clients. Everyone he met's a client. So there's that, and there's social media. Now, I personally have never used my social media hugely to advertise personal training. That's a personal choice because I started my social media before I became a personal trainer, and therefore I wanted to keep it kind of about my journey, my voice, and I keep my clients private, so I rarely share anything to do with my clients. However, you really could use social media to your advantage. Get a website, get yourself on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. I think they're the key social media platforms, and put yourself out there. I really think it's important as a personal trainer to take a clear stand on what your beliefs are, on how you train people and what makes you a bit different. And like I said before, when I very first started my job, I started teaching classes, and teaching classes was also a great way to meet potential clients as well, because they see what you're about, they start to get to know you, they know your style. And for example, I teach spin, so people would meet me for spin and ask, how can I get better? How can I get fitter? And I said, well, you know, you need to do some strength training to accompany this. Can I give you a complimentary session? And that's the key. Can I give you a complimentary session? Come along and have 45 minutes with me, see what you like, see what you don't like. I'm in a really fortunate position now with my business where I get referrals and people approach me for business. It was not always that way. However, I still maintain that every single person I ever train will always get their first session free, because they need to try before they buy, they need to know what they're getting into before they invest in you, and you need to know what you're getting into before you invest in them. And whilst we're here, a few more tips to get clients, especially if you're working in a big gym environment. I would always chat to the ladies in the ladies changing rooms, especially if it was like after teaching class, or if I was just getting my stuff together, coming to the gym or after the gym, around my locker, doing my makeup, whatever. Going up to people on the gym floor can be a bit hostile and can, like, I'm sorry, but if I'm working out, I don't want you to come and interrupt me and tell me I'm doing it wrong and tell me that you can help me or you criticize me in some way. I personally don't want that. So you've got to think, how do you want people to talk to you? One of the biggest tips I learned about personal training is it's all about rapport and connection with your client. So it's all about getting trust and having rapport, okay? Because without trust, the relationship doesn't work. Yeah, talk to people in different situations outside them actually exercising. So before and after classes is fantastic. In the changing rooms was like my prime area. I scheduled in all my complimentary sessions in the changing rooms. Like, you can't go wrong. So yeah, think about that. Holly asked a fantastic question. Can you explain the different ways you can get employed or be self-employed as a personal trainer? This is a fantastic question. So there are a couple of options you have when you become a personal trainer. I chose to go freelance off the bat. However, I did go with Fitness First, so I had to pay gym rent, and I still pay gym rent now. But with Fitness First, it was a bit different because I still had to do gym hours within those first 6 months. But if you do get that opportunity to do hours in lieu of paying rent, use those hours wisely. So use those hours to teach classes, to talk to people, to make friends. Oh, another tip for getting clients. Make friends with the people on reception, because when they tell the newbies who they should be signing up with, they'll tell them you. They'll recommend you because they think you're good at your job and you're nice and you're friendly. A lot of the reception staff used to send people to my classes because my classes got a good reputation, so I met a lot of people that way. So you have that option where you're doing that, and then eventually you come off the sliding scale and you can come and go as you please, and you pay rent. And at Fitness First, you pay rent weekly. I personally like that. It just means you are completely in control of your hours. And I should add, at gyms like Fitness First, they do a sliding scale. I think they do a 4-week sliding scale. So if you're quite an experienced personal trainer and you wanted to move to a Fitness First to have your business there, they would put you on a 4-week sliding scale, which means your rent would just gradually increase over 4 weeks whilst you establish your client base. They also do, I think they did a 4-week and a 12-week, and then the 25-week, I think that's what they offered. However, I might be a bit out of date now because this is like 3.5 years ago that I did this. Then you have the options where you work for people like the Virgin Actives, the David Lloyds, the Nuffield House of this world. Those gyms work on a basis whereby you don't pay gym rent, but you do hours for the gym and they take a cut of your sessions. So you do have contracted hours to be at the gym. So you don't have the freedom, but you're not self-employed, so you're guaranteed an income. Whereas when you're self-employed and you're finding all the clients yourselves, they directly pay you, and then you pay the gym. Whereas when you're doing David Lloyd, Nuffield, Virgin, clients pay the gym pays you. And how it works is, when you're doing a session, for example, at Virgin Active, say you have to get a certain amount of clients, you have to be training a certain amount of clients a week to increase your pay scale. So I think it starts at something like, you earn as a personal trainer £16 a session if you had like 15 clients, and then if you started training 20 clients, I think it might go up to like £18. These are rough estimates of numbers because, once again, it may well have slightly changed and altered since I last knew about it. And then once you increases further, you get further and further up. But I think the maximum you can earn is between £25 and £30 a session. Side note to that, in London, you're charging £1 a minute. So if you're self-employed, so for example, if I was doing a 45-minute session with someone as a self-employed person in London, I'm charging minimum £45 for that session. If I'm working at Virgin Active, I'm not paying rent, but I'm going to be earning potentially £20–25. So to me, it was more attractive to go to the self-employed route, because if you're willing to tread water for the first 3 or 4 months to set up your business and establish your client base, you can get a really good income that way, and I think a better income. Now I'm going to just tag on a bit how I structure my payment system with clients, because this was one of the key things I changed within my business in the first like 5 to 6 months. So I started selling packages of like blocks. So I'd sell like 10 session blocks and get my clients to pay me for 10 sessions and count the sessions, and then once those 10 were out, I'd ask them to buy another 10 blocks. But for example, if you're asking your client to pay £45–50 per session, that means they're potentially having to put up £500 up front, which is, I think, tough for a person. Like, that's a lot of money to have lying around, and second of all, that's hard for me to manage over 10 weeks. So it would mean that like I couldn't just spend it all at once, or I have to make sure that that money's like steady throughout the month. For me personally, it just doesn't work. So I changed my system to a monthly payment system, whereby when I sign up a client, they sign up with me for a minimum of 12 weeks, 3 months, and we do a system whereby they pay me a fee based on whether they're getting 1 session a week, 2 sessions a week, or 3 sessions a week. And then I get a direct debit each month to pay for that. At the end of 12 weeks, They are free to leave because I asked for 12-week, we have a 12-week commitment and my clients sign up to that. And then at the end of 12 weeks, it's a rolling contract and they can come and go as they please. Now, when I set out my prices, I have terms and conditions within my prices, and we make an agreement on that. And I also do a scheme, and I've done this since day dot as well. If your client refers you a client, they get 2 free sessions as well. So it's an incentive for your client to go and find more people for you to train. So Ms. Cat's Meow, she says that she's been thinking about a career shift to personal training recently, but she's worried because she doesn't have abs, and she's worried that you have to look like a fitspo to be successful in the fitness industry. Well, if you guys follow me and you know who I am and you know what I'm about, you know I call bullshit, sorry mum for swearing, but no. It's a misconception. I think initially when I started out in the industry, I believed that my body was my CV and I had to look good to get clients. But ultimately the best way to get clients and retain clients, because retaining clients is the hardest part and the key part, that part is all about being a good person, communicating well with your client, tracking progress so that they stay motivated to succeed, and like I said, having the trust and rapport. I cannot stress that enough. My clients are my friends. We have a working relationship, but I see my clients more than I see a lot of my friends, and I'm really invested in their lives, they're really invested in mine, and it means when we work together, it's fun, we enjoy it, and it's easy. Yeah, it's easy. It's not, sometimes it's like pulling teeth, sometimes it's tough, but most of the time it's fun and I really enjoy it. And my body has changed a lot since I've become a personal trainer. I used to be a lot leaner, I used to train a lot differently, I was a lot more muscular, shall we say. These days I'm probably a bit soft around the edges, but I practice what I preach. I don't expect my clients to go on strict diet regimes. I don't expect my clients to be slaving away in the gym. Instead, I'm encouraging my clients to try and get some healthy habits in their lifestyle so they live long, happy lives. And the main thing we focus on is strength. So no, you don't need to look like a fitspo to be a successful personal trainer. And I often find that people that do look like fitness models on the covers of fitness magazines, those people's business are not as successful because they're far more interested in themselves, in their own training, in their own nutrition, than actually focusing on clients. So you just have to walk into the gym, be confident, be proud, know your values as a personal trainer, know what you bring to the situation, and own it. Because yeah, confidence attracts confidence. So know your brand as a personal trainer and just market yourself well. Okay, one more thing. So I mentioned just then, it's all about keeping your clients motivated. So as a personal trainer, I choose not to do the following things. I do not weigh my clients. I do not take photos of my clients' bodies. I do not measure my clients. I do not do body fat testing. I do not do body scans or whatever. I personally wanted to make my role as a trainer be all about making fitness accessible for the many and to not drive it around aesthetics at all. And so instead, I give my clients a little book. I think I've got one hanging about. Give me a second. And so I have invested in a ton of these. They're called Gym Diaries. And basically, each of my clients has one of these, and every session I write down their session, their workout, the weights they're lifting, and we track all their personal bests. So what I'm looking for with training is week-on-week improvement, and since I introduced this halfway through personal training, and it transformed my clients' motivation levels, and particularly this year, they have just thrived, and so we're getting personal bests left, right and centre, and yeah, people are really, and I asked them to also track their workouts that they do without me as well in here, so I can keep track of what everyone's up to. Think of it as like your school planner that you used to have. In fact, I'll link, they're just from Amazon, they're not expensive, I'll link them below. I just bulk buy them and then give them out to clients as they come. And finally, the final question, a lot of you guys are asking what other courses I recommend doing besides personal training. Now, I just wanted to add as a side note, on my personal training course, I did do a nutrition qualification. I personally believe that personal trainers should not be giving out nutrition plans to clients, because that's what dietitians and nutritionists are there for, okay? And these people, nutritionists and dietitians, are university educated, AFN registered people, okay? They are highly qualified, highly skilled. It takes them years to learn all the chemistry and the science and whatever behind nutrition, okay? So I would recommend, what I did as a personal trainer was find some nutritionists and actually also some therapists to link up with who I can refer my clients to. And you also might want to find physiotherapists and all that kind of stuff to have that element of referral with your clients. When it comes to extra courses you can do, there are some interesting stuff. So there's level 3, which is basic personal training. There's then level 4, level 5, you can specialise in special populations, so kind of more older people, and you have you also have an obesity one. For me personally, the course I am trying to do, and I've actually done half of it, and then I had a family bereavement, so I couldn't complete the other half, was my pre and postnatal course. I think that adds so much value to personal trainers, particularly female personal trainers, and if you think you're going to be personal training for the long term, it means that you can grow with your clients quite literally. So as my female clients perhaps get pregnant, because I've trained a lot of women through their weddings, so as then they start having babies, you're with them the whole way and you never lose your clients, because I don't want my clients to depend on me every second of the day. I want them to be independent souls who are empowered enough to work out on their own and make healthy choices and look after their well-being. But I also want to have that relationship whereby we work together on a long-term basis. Majority of my clients I've worked with for 12 months plus, and that's the best way of doing it. And then those people refer you people, and yeah, it just works out really well. Keep digressing from this question. I think it's all about kind of further reading, following interesting people. There's a lot of stuff out there on like posture and mobility at the moment. I'm going to link some people below who I think are really interesting, and it's about educating yourself that way as well. So there are courses you can do, but I would strongly recommend doing extra reading and following people on social media who are more knowledgeable than you, and listening to podcasts and all that kind of stuff as well. And you can't knock experience for teaching you an awful lot. I've learned so much on the job because each person presents a different problem, and as a trainer you just work out a different way to solve the puzzle every time. Right, I'm gonna leave it there because I know I've got a lot to edit here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really hope it's been helpful. I really hope this answered any questions you had, but if you have any more, pop them in the comments below and I will do my best to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time with a full life update with, I've got a very exciting announcement, by the way, very exciting announcement. So stay tuned for that in the next video. I'll see you then. Goodbye.